trying to get my body. I just actually came from dialysis. So my story is quite a bit different. I actually have polycystic, but I didn't know I had polycystic. My journey starts in 2005 on a routine checkup to the primary care physician, and he did some routine blood work on me and then gave me a call and asked me if I knew did I know my kidneys were operating at about 50%. And I said I had no clue. He says, do you have any kidney disease in your family? I said, no, sir. So at that time, he decided that he was going to manage it himself. And so his style was just for me to try to keep my blood pressure low and try to lose some weight. I didn't lose much weight. And in 2009, my serum creatinine actually went up, and that's when he sent me to a nephrologist. At that time, they thought that my kidney disease was due to my high blood pressure and possibly diabetes. But I wasn't even diabetic at the time, wasn't even pre-diabetic, but that's what they thought. So by 2012, things got worse, and my serum creatinine went up to 5 and my GFR went to 15. And he said that I was probably going to need to go on dialysis. So what they suggested was to go to some transplant courses to find out about transplant. And that's when everything turned around for me. I realized that I really didn't know what was going on and that I didn't trust what was told to me. So I decided that it was time to get a new physician and look for a new pathway. And at that time, I was doing some research at Loyola with a couple doctors, and I asked them, and they put me in with a new nephrologist. And so once I started seeing her, she decided to take me on, and with my numbers being so bad, we decided that let's just try to keep me off dialysis. So that's when I started my diet. I started more of a plant-based diet with low meat proteins and high intensity exercise. I dropped about 30 pounds or so, and I stayed off dialysis for 3 years. In 2016, I finally had to go back on dialysis. So that was in 2016, when I went on dialysis, I had also managed to get on 4 transplant lists, and that's when I found out I had polycystic. At that time, I started dialysis, and I was on dialysis from 2016 to 2018. But during that time, I also had trouble with my left kidney, so it had to be removed. So in 2018, I got my first kidney. Oh boy, was I happy. So off dialysis, got my first kidney, and at that time I weighed 235. So I kept exercising, things kept going pretty good, but then 9 months later, the surgery herniated. So I had to have another surgery. Also in 2019, my serum creatinine started to go back up. And my doctor and I had a serious conversation, and she was honest with me, and she didn't think that kidney would last 2 more years. In 2021, I went back on dialysis. In 2021, I also was able to get back on the transplant list. I was in pretty good shape, so I got back on the transplant list. But then, towards the end of 2022, I was exercising so much that I got tendinitis, and I rubbed one of my toes raw in my tennis shoe from exercising, that eventually what happened is I found out I had peripheral vascular disease, and I lost a toe. So that took me off the list for a while. Then I was ready to get back on the transplant list. They did a stress test, and I had a stress test in 2021 too, and it was clean. 2023, I had 3 blockages. So this past February, I had triple bypass, and now, before I came, I finished all my testing, and on 10/22, I will go to get back on the transplant list, and hopefully in 2025, maybe I'll stand up here with a new kidney.